You also had an open heart to Bitcoin. I know you had invested in Bitcoin, but curious to know if your stance has changed at all after the crypto carnage. And I know Bitcoin's in a league of itself, but obviously SBF and all that garbage affecting the whole sector. Your thoughts on the crypto space?
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have American forecaster Gerald Celente giving us a market breakdown, as well as his outlook for Bitcoin in 2023 and where the economy is headed next. Celente has been rather critical of the Fed and says that the manipulation of the money supply is the cause for the overall economic instability. While he believes Bitcoin will survive, he says the greatest danger to cryptocurrencies is government overreach and the banning of specific token and token sales. He believes in the not too distant future that they will do away with cash and the banks will move to an all-digital currency. Let's get right into the latest interview with Gerald Celente as he talks about the economic outlook for 2023 and where the crypto and stock markets are headed next. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
I mentioned SBF, signed bankman-fried. We learned that he was a huge donor, second largest donor to the Democrats during the midterms. Now I see this headline today. Billionaire George Soros quietly donated $140 billion to political causes in 2021. These donations are on top of the more than $170 million Soros personally contributed during the 2022 midterm election cycle to help Democratic campaigns. My question is, should there not be a limit as to what can be donated to political campaigns? What's your take on this?
Absolutely. You call this a democracy? What am I, 6 years old? We're bringing freedom and democracy around the world. And if you don't have a lot of money, you can't run for anywhere in this country?
Yeah.
No, it's the Supreme Court ruling that made that illegal. This was back in 2010. No, the whole game is rigged, like I said. Look at the clowns. Look at the clown show right in front of your eyes. How that guy Beto O'Rourke down in Texas, right? Oh yeah, $100 million to run for governor. Oh, and he lost. Stacey Abrams over in Georgia, $100 million midterm elections to run for governor, and she lost. What democracy are you talking about? D-U-H, democracy. You got it? It's gone. It's gone. That this kind of thing, and people call it a government. I call it a crime syndicate. And how much more of our money do they have to steal in the name of too big to fails? Look at that. Look at J.P. Morgan Chase. 5 felonies. Count them. 5 felonies. Hey, how come little Jamie Dimon isn't in jail? Oh, you mean the J.P. Morgan Chase that rigged the precious metals market and only got fined $900 million in 2019? I've never seen a decline that we're looking at now. On the economic front, we are in a very dangerous position here. And if this war continues to go on like it is going to crash the economies. All things are connected. Let's go back to the reality. Let's go back to 2019, not ancient history. Happy New Year. At that time, Germany was a fraction of going into a recession. Let's go back to September of 2019. Hey, remember the repo markets where the Federal Reserve dumped in $10 trillion between September 2019 to January 2020 so they could keep pumping up the markets because they needed more cheap money? Now they're talking about Italy, and I think it was the IMF or one of them just came out, that they're facing the worst financial crisis of all of them concerning their debt level.
Yeah.
And look at what's happened to the businesses. So now let's put it all together. We're looking at what happened and why it happened. They locked down everything. Stay at home. You can't go to work. But hey, here's some cheap money for you. Here, go on. Shut up. Here's some money. You got a business here. We're going to give you money. Oh, we're going to print, we're going to go to 0 in negative interest rates. Well, they stayed on negative interest rates, what, in Europe for how many years? Oh, only 8? and the United States zero interest rate policy, the market should have crashed in 2020. No, we had a real estate boom. We had a high-tech boom. People were buying and fixing up. Here's more cheap money. Here's cheap money. And now our Treasury Secretary, along with the guy playing the Fed head, Powell, going on for almost 2 years. Celente, you're full of baloney, and so are you other people. There is no inflation. It's only temporary. No. It's only transitory. They lied about it. They knew it was real. Same thing with Lagarde. So they could keep pumping in that cheap money. Now, here's the big lie. Now they're saying inflation will get better because it was only caused by the supply chain disruptions, not our cheap money and our zero interest rate policy. You see where this is going? So here's the deal. If the Federal Reserve raises interest rates in February 1st, even 25 basis points, it's going to keep pushing the markets down.
Celente believes the Federal Reserve is making a huge mistake with their monetary policy and thinks that more pain is coming for the housing, credit, and crypto markets in the coming months. He believes the drastic actions by the Federal Reserve are actually crashing the market. Celente says in the same way they wouldn't admit there was inflation, they aren't going to admit there's a recession.
I think there'll be a place of Bitcoin, and very interesting with Bitcoin, even though it's way down from when it was 60,000, it's still at 16,000. And when you go back, 11 years ago, it started at zero. And it's been in the $16,000 range now for months. It hasn't gone down from there. The only thing that I think it's going to stop it is when they come out with digital. And this is what we said going back to 2020 when our magazine cover was from dirty cash to digital trash. When the governments when they go fully digital, they're not going to want any competition, and they're going to make it very hard for it. That's the only way we see it going down. But we still see Bitcoin, as all the cryptocurrencies, as the one that's going to stabilize until they do that and it becomes the real deal. And it's going to take a few years for that to happen. It's going to start gradually, and then all of a sudden it'll end and we'll all be digital. There's no competition for the dollar, even though the dollar should be in the toilet. Again, you're $31 trillion in debt. Just put another fake $1.7 trillion in there. This thing should be going way down. But again, where's the competition? They start coming out and saying, no, our currency is backed by gold. The United States is backed by nothing. The financial business, they're the ones that run the show, the BlackRocks and the Blackstones and all the private equity groups that are in charge. If they put pressure on the Fed to lower interest rates, they're going to do it. It's not about we the people. It's about the ones running the show.
Celente has also been critical of the Fed's role in bailing out large banks during the 2008 financial crisis, arguing that the Fed's actions helped to worsen the outcome. He says that if the central banks continue to manipulate the money supply, this will lead to economic booms and busts, and the economy will eventually fall. What do you think about Gerald Celente's market outlook for 2023, and how the Fed will play a role in monetary policy and crypto? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.